What is up, folks, and welcome to the BJT show where I talk about sports, media, entertainment, and such things. I'm your host, Byron. And for this episode, I have a very special guest. He's actually been on the show before, but he is a former safety for the University of Georgia and national champion. And he also plays safety for the Arkansas Razorbacks, and he is a former safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Latavius Brenny, thank you for joining.
How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning.
So, first things first, I want to talk about is Browns quarterback Sheduer Sanders was listed as the third string QB for the Cleveland Browns. And so he was listed as a third string QB, and he was
Mm-hmm.
originally fourth on the depth chart. So it's so Joe Flacco is the starter, and
Mm-hmm.
then Dylan Gabriel is the backup to Joe, and then Sheduer is
Mm-hmm.
third string. But Kenny Pickett was the second string, Dylan Gabriel was third string, then Sheduer was fourth string. And
Mm-hmm.
so the Browns traded Kenny Pickett to the Las Vegas Raiders. Traded Kenny Pickett to the
Yeah,
Las
Father
Vegas
David.
Raiders. So
Yeah.
now they only have three quarterbacks on the active roster. So,
Mm-hmm.
what is your opinion on the whole Browns quarterback situation?
So my opinion on the Browns situation is that so Joe Flacco is like the veteran in the room. So it's like of course they're gonna start the veteran, Joe Flacco. And it's just like for experience for the younger guys. Joe Flacco is gonna lead the season off gunslinging. Everybody know Joe Flacco gonna throw the ball. He gonna lead the season on gunslinging, but I don't feel like Joe Flacco have enough willpower to like take the Browns out of what the Browns are in. So it's like a project. I feel like it's like to have Joe Flacco there first to like show the young guys how it should mold, and between Dylan Gabriel and Sheduer Sanders, whoever picks up the game faster and like understand faster would be the guy up. Of course, I feel like they're like I'm not gonna say like trying to put Shador in a box, but Shador have a personality that like a lot of people can't. A lot of football players wish they had. So it's like that aura and that personality itself like speaks for itself in his game. So it's like the NFL is an organization. It's $1 billion organization. So it's like you can be yourself, but at the same time, it's like be calm with it. Like be calm with it, and like improve yourself before being yourself. But Shador, hey, listen, all hats off to him because keep going. Like, do you? But I just feel like they just more of it trying to like put him in a box and make him like understand that this is a business instead of like a performance. But Dylan Gabriel, of course, they're gonna put him in front. He's the older guy, and I feel like between the two preseason games, Dylan Gabriel, listen, Shador had the more flashier win. Listen, Shador can play, he can throw the ball, but Dylan Gabriel had the more better, I want to say the better preseason. Especially at the second game. Of course, I feel like they didn't give Shador all the time that he needed to show that he's like should be QB2. But at the end of the day, it's a fair game, and then and practice come around and like I don't wish this upon nobody, but injuries happen. So it's like whoever the next guy that comes up steps up for real. That's how it is. But I personally feel like give Shador about week 8. I feel like you'll be seeing Shador in the fire. Like week 8, I feel like you should see Shador in the fire. Dylan Gabriel gonna get his chance too, though. I'm not gonna sit here and say he's not gonna get a chance, but I feel like I said earlier, if whoever picks up the game that Joe Flacco is dropping first is going to be the quarterback that's next up.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes sense for sure. I think Dylan Gabriel had the better preseason overall, but I think Shadur has shown some flashes that he can play. I think he had a really good game against the Panthers when he threw 2 touchdowns, but the game recently against the Rams wasn't that good for Shadur, but it
Mm-hmm.
happens, so I get it. But let's take it back to the draft. So Shadur
Mm-hmm.
Sanders was picked in the 5th round, 144th overall, and that really surprised me because all throughout the pre-draft process, people were hailing Shador as a first-round pick, maybe even the first overall pick or top 5, top 10. And there were a few QB needy teams in the draft, And when he was picked in the 5th round, that surprised me. When he didn't go in the first, that surprised me. But it's like, okay,
Hmm.
it's I knew the Giants weren't going to take him early in the draft just because I knew they were going to get Abdul Carter, and rightfully so.
Hmm.
I felt like the Titans weren't going to pick him because they were going to pick um,
Camera work.
Cam Ward. And so,
Hmm.
but then the Saints didn't pick him. The Saints picked an offensive lineman in the 1st round. But based off the preseason, that offensive lineman, I think it's Kelvin Banks Jr.
Was a pretty good pickup.
He's he's been doing pretty good. But
Hmm.
then Sheduer didn't get picked up in the 1st round by the Steelers because I thought, okay, well maybe the Steelers need a quarterback. Steelers need a quarterback, even if Aaron Rodgers is there, they need someone there. Russ is
Hmm.
gone, Justin Fields is gone. I thought they were going to draft him, but they didn't in the 1st round. So I'm like,
The
okay,
Steelers is right now. They want to win right now.
they want to win right now, which is fair. But in the 2nd round, the
Hmm.
Saints drafted Tyler Shugg out of Louisville, and
Hmm.
throughout the pre-draft process, I don't think he was seen as a top prospect in the beginning, but then
Mm,
the more the whole draft process went along, he rose up draft boards, and the Giants
I
drafted Jackson Dart in the 1st round. So I'm like, what is going on?
I feel different about the quarterback out of Louisville because if you go back and look at the film of him like in Louisville, like he was part of the reason why Louisville was winning. Like if you actually go back and look at it, so I never like it was between for me. I felt like the sleepers was him and the other quarterback from Syracuse that got drafted to the Eagles.
Mhm,
I feel like those two quarterbacks is that if they find a great system, I feel like listen, don't quote me on this, but I feel like especially the quarterback for the Eagles, he could be like another Baker Mayfield. Like if he fits in a good system. That's what I see. I'm not saying like I'm not saying like the play style as much, but it's like the swagger, I feel like.
mhm.
The
Yeah, I get
swagger to
that
him.
definitely.
Like he got a good aura to him at Syracuse when he was there.
And I think with Tyler Shugg, I think he's really talented. I've seen some of his film from Louisville, and I think he's really good. But it just
Hmm.
really surprised me. I think he was a good prospect, but it surprised me when he rose up draft boards and ended up being picked in the 2nd round. So
Hmm.
once the 2nd round went by and Shadur wasn't picked, I was like, okay, something's going on. How do you go from a top 10 prospect and then you're not picked in the 1st round? After he wasn't picked in the 1st round, I was like, okay, it happens. Okay, fine. 2nd round went by, doesn't get picked in the 2nd round. 3rd round goes by, doesn't get picked in. 4th round doesn't get picked. 5th round finally gets picked by the Browns. But the
I
Browns
know
drafted,
everybody was like, wow.
yeah, but the Browns drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, which makes sense. I think Dylan Gabriel was a good
Hmm.
prospect.
He
Doesn't
is.
have a whole lot of, he's not super tall, or anything like that. Short quarterback, but he had a lot of
Playmaker.
experience. Yeah, playmaker, had a lot of experience throughout college football, and he led the
Hmm.
#1 team in the nation for a good part of the season. Yeah, they got
Yeah.
beat by Ohio State in the Rose Bowl pretty badly, but up to that point, he's been doing
Shout out to Dan
pretty
Lanning.
good. He's doing pretty good. Yeah, really good
Hmm.
system too. And so, he got picked in the 3rd round, which made sense to me. But it didn't make sense that the Browns took both QBs. But they got Shadur, and I was like, okay, let's see how Shadur is going to do. And with Shadur, a lot of the hype and everything and media
Yeah.
attention is going to come with it. That's just, it is how it is. He's not the only
Hmm.
quarterback or prospect to come in with a whole bunch of attention. It happens. It's fine.
I just feel like why not? You hear me? The Browns. It was like the Browns just took. They took it. It was a risk, just like the Saints took a risk on like drafting a quarterback and Spencer Rattler, and then drafting a quarterback from Louisville. I feel like the Browns took a risk knowing that their quarterback room was that deep.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you still got Deshaun Watson too. He's on IR, but you still have him there. They paid him a ton of money, so
Mm-hmm.
they still have him. So the Browns just took a risk, and I just felt like just think about the Browns organization. They needed that
That
okay,
spark.
that spark, and like I feel like Shador like this whole time of the preseason. Who and when you look at the Browns, who were you thinking about?
Shador.
Shador. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like the Browns really needed. I feel like the Browns really needed it. So it's like I feel like, and then I feel like the reason why Shador dropped so low because it's like, let me tell you something. Respectfully, there's only one Dion in this world. There's only one Dion, and like I say, and the Shador being that that's Dion's son, the the aura and everything. I ain't gonna lie, I love it. I love it. But it just going through the draft process, like some of these when you talking to these coaches and stuff like that, like you gotta make sure you talk to everybody, leave a great impression on everybody. And like him going into it, I didn't really read into it as much, but him going into it probably I seen that some of them like he didn't even want to talk to certain teams and stuff like that. I don't know. Like certain stuff like that. I may be wrong, but like if it was that the case, is like of course I wouldn't draft you as high as like these other guys that talk to everybody, like the Jackson Darts and stuff like that, because it's like you people see that as arrogant, but we see it as like confident. I'm confident in myself. Like I feel like I'm the greatest out. Like, and that's how we should feel. But others may be seen as arrogant. So it's like
Hmm.
going into the draft process, a lot of people probably seen it as arrogant. So it's like that's why his draft stock probably dropped so low, because his talent is not the thing.
Hmm.
Talent is not the thing. He could go hand for hand for one of the best quarterbacks that was in the draft.
Hmm.
But I feel like that's part of the game, though. That's part of the game.
Yeah, and even Mel Kiper, who does a lot of NFL analysts and such things analysis, he was surprised that Sheduer didn't get picked in the first round, then the second round, third round. And he's like, what is going on? What's going on with this?
Hmm.
But they ended up drafting him, and it kind of seemed like the Browns didn't want him that much, but he was there, so I was like, okay, so what are they gonna do with that? And then in the preseason, week one of the preseason, the Browns played against the Panthers. They won 30-10.
Hmm.
Dylan Gabriel didn't play that game, I think, due to a hamstring injury, and Kenny Pickett, I don't think he played either due to a hamstring injury. And so in
I
week
feel
one of
like
the pre,
that was all.
and
I
so
feel like
week
that was
one,
all. It
yeah,
wasn't right. Like that was all. I feel like that was all meant. If you believe in God, it's all meant. Like that was
mm-hmm,
all meant for Shador to show what he. And I feel like they did that just to see what Shador can do. Like put him on a
mm-hmm,
platform. Let's see something.
mm-hmm.
Like.
And in that week one game, Shadur went 14 of 23, passing
Hmm.
with 138 yards and two passing touchdowns, 19 rushing yards on four carries, and he was sacked twice. But he did pretty good. He did pretty good that
Hmm.
game, but he didn't play week two against the Eagles in the preseason due to injury. Well, yeah, he didn't play week two against the Eagles due to injury, but Dylan Gabriel did. And when he
Hmm.
did, he was 13 of 18 for 143 passing yards, one interception that was a pick six, and he lost a fumble, but he ended the game with a 72.2 passer rating, and he was also sacked twice. And then Dylan Gabriel
Hmm.
said the whole, there
The.
are entertainers and they're competitors. I'm a
Uh-huh.
competitor. And some people thought he was talking about Shadur. Some people saying he was talking about the media and just, whatever. But Dylan Gabriel also played week three of the preseason against
Hmm.
the Rams. So when he played against the Rams lost that game. The Browns won. The Browns beat the Rams in
Hmm.
that week three preseason game. And
I've seen that game.
Gabriel was 12 and 19 for 129 passing yards and one touchdown. And then
Hmm.
Shadur came into the game later on in the fourth quarter, I believe, and he was 3 of 6 passing for 14 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions, with a 56.2 completion percentage, and he was sacked 5 times. But a lot of people were saying, like, offensive line wasn't doing Shadur any favors and everything, which I do agree with. But I think the biggest knock on Shadur coming into the league was that he kind of holds the ball a little too long sometimes,
Yeah,
and
he do.
so as a QB, you got to get rid of the ball quickly. But at Colorado for a period of time, his offensive line wasn't doing him very many favors. So that was
Hmm.
partly due to him. That was
Holding the ball.
partly, yeah. So that was a reason why he was holding the ball so long. But even at Colorado, he still played well. He had a great completion percentage his last season, and so he's good. He's very talented. He can definitely throw the ball. I think he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks coming into the draft this year. But the week three game against the Rams, the Browns won 19-17, but Shador was taken out at the end of the game, and they put
Tyler
Tyler
Huntley.
Huntley in, who they just
Hmm.
signed. So Tyler Huntley ran that 2 minute drill, and people were saying, "Well, Tyler Huntley, did better than Shador and everything, and he led them down the field, but a good amount of those yards were off of penalties. Good
Hmm.
amount of those yards were off of penalties, but he did lead them down the field, and they kicked the field goal, I believe.
I would
But
say, listen. Tyler Huntley from he a Florida boy, so
uh,
I'm a ride for my Florida boy. So shout out to
uh,
Tyler Huntley. Shout out Snoop for sure.
yeah. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me to pull Shador out of the game only because Tyler Huntley was released by the Browns like a day or two later. after the game.
hmm
So I'm thinking if you knew you were going to release him, you could have let Sheduer get those reps for that 2 minute drill just to see how he would operate in that. But
At the end of
yeah,
the day, like a lot of people, and then just to go back on that quote that Dylan Gabriel said, a lot of people got to understand that at the end of the day in the NFL, this is a business. We are fighting for a job. Like this is our life. Like people have 9 to 5s. Like when you wake up, this is what you have to do every day. Like this how I feed my family. So people got to understand that like it's always gonna be competition. Like you competing with the next man. Even if you're like you make friends, at the end of the day, you still competing with that guy. At the end of the day, it's all friendly competition. At the end of the day, it's never like, oh, we're gonna continue this after we get out of there. But nah, like you gotta understand, like people here today in one building, and you gone. You could be on another team by the next day. So it's like gotta understand it's competition everywhere. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a Shador fan. But I do agree that he does tend to like pat and hold the ball a lot, and I feel like he just always want to make the best, like the flashy plays sometimes instead of making the safe plays.
mm,
But that just comes with it. He's a rookie, and he just got to. That's why I say he's sitting under Joe Flacco. Man, Joe Flacco was one of them guys. That was what people
mhm,
got to understand. Joe Flacco still can sling the ball. He's sitting under Joe
mhm,
Flacco. Joe Flacco gonna teach him how to be, and that's why I say. Then again, Joe Flacco gonna teach Dylan Gabriel and Shador how to be a NFL quarterback right now. Like
mhm,
right now, they still playing off like college rules and stuff like that, like
mhm,
college mentality. I feel like they got the veteran Joe Flacco in there, Deshaun Watson. They're gonna teach him how to be an NFL quarterback. So whoever comes out making the right plays, because I'm telling you like this, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is not gonna be there the whole season. Like I'm not gonna say he's not gonna be the starter the whole season. Like I like so whoever comes out, and you remember this, whoever comes out like looking like the guy, that's who they're gonna go forward with. So
mhm. And I think with Shadur, like you were saying, he wants to make the big play. He's like, yeah,
hmm
I'm under a lot of pressure in the pocket, but still, I want to go out there and make something happen. But I think Shadur will learn as he goes along that it's all right, and you can throw the ball away.
hmm
Live to see another down. It's okay. It happens. It happens.
I seen something when they said what made Tom Brady is like he get like he got the yards that the defense gave him. So like if the running back open in the flat, like I'm gonna take that. Like I'm gonna take them 5 yards. 'Cause over the time, them 5 yards add up. The five
Mm-hmm.
yards add up. Everybody wants to. Oh yeah, I see that bomb. I'm gonna go throw that bomb. But sometimes you gotta understand, like make the safe play over the big play. When you can make the big play, make the big play. But if you know that you trying to be somewhere, you got to make the safe plays.
Hmm. And
Mm,
even with throwing the ball away, Aaron Rodgers throws the ball away all the time.
mm,
Even though he can throw the ball wherever he wants, whenever he wants on the field, I think Aaron Rodgers has one of the best touchdown to interception ratios ever. And he knows like if you got to throw it
yeah,
away,
Roger's
throw it
that
away.
guy. He's that guy.
Exactly.
He's that guy.
And I think Shador will get better as he goes along. I
He
know
will.
I understand that people hate on him a lot, but the more that I've learned about Shador, the more he's starting to grow on me. I think he's a good player. He seems like a cool, down to earth dude. I know he's a little flashy, and some people don't like that, but
Mm.
I think he'll
People
be
hate
just
what they
fine.
un- people hate what they don't understand.
Hmm.
They they figure like, oh yeah, he's like cocky, he's this, he's that. What like is it wrong for being confident in myself? Like am I wrong for feeling like I'm the greatest?
Hmm.
Like like and I understand you let your peers tell you that, but like sometimes if they ain't gonna tell you, I gotta tell myself sometimes.
Hmm. And even with
And
yeah.
And I feel like Shador, like just, and then you gotta understand, just his dad legacy and everything. He just got to like, I just feel like he's a got to. You feel me?
Hmm. Yeah. And then in the game versus the Eagles, they said even though, analysts were saying that even though Dylan Gabriel did have a pick six and a lost fumble,
hmm
those were his negative plays, but his positive plays, they said the offense was looking pretty smooth and getting down the field. And, it was just a lot of, quick plays here and there, a lot of short stuff, a lot of quick game type of plays, rolling out, getting them out there. And so And with Shador in the game versus the Rams, I didn't see a whole lot of that. But
Hmm.
you kind of try to play to your quarterback strengths, but a lot of it is fitting into that system. They got to fit into Kevin Stefanski's system, learn the
Hmm.
system more, and be able to operate within that system. So it makes sense. It makes sense why Dylan Gabriel is the number two quarterback and Shadur is the third
Yeah,
quarterback. Yeah.
I feel like, and another thing, Dylan Gabriel is like he an improviser. Like Dylan Gabriel can actually move. Like people don't give him that much credit on like how he can move for real.
Mm-hmm.
But and Shador is like more like he can run, but it's like he's more of like a pocket passer a little bit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he try to stay in the pocket. Dylan Gabriel, I feel like if once he don't see in college, it shows like once he don't see something, he's gonna use his feet. He
Mm-hmm.
gonna make waves. And I feel like sometimes like the game is changing. A lot of quarterbacks gonna have to learn how to move around because some of these ends, some of these D tackles getting athletic now. These D tackles running a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
These D ends running 4.3. So it's
Some of them
like
are
you're gonna
faster
have
than
to,
receivers.
yeah, you're gonna have to start using your feet more than you have to.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I think, yeah, Dylan Gabriel did a really good job of that at Oregon and at Oklahoma and at UCF, using his
hmm
feet, getting around and moving around. And if it's not there, running. And I think with
hmm
Shador, I think once his pocket presence gets a little better, once he starts stepping up in the pocket a little better and making those throws or throwing the ball away if needed, because he is an accurate passer. He's definitely
he
an
is for
accurate
sure,
passer. So
for sure.
once Shador just kind of calms down and just kind of just one thing at a time, he's gonna learn and he's gonna get better. So no, I think he'll be fine. I think all the
Yeah, he's gonna be great.
quarterbacks on the
He's gonna
Browns
be great.
roster will be just fine.
They're gonna be great. They're gonna be great.
Mm.
They're
It's
gonna be
just
great.
it's just so much that goes along into it, and with the media and everything, and people were even saying that they were sabotaging Shador
Of
because
course
of
they're gonna say that.
because of how the offense was looking and everything, and
Of course they're gonna say that.
it's just been a lot. It's been a lot.
Of course they're gonna say that. Like, man, people gotta understand, like, how Shadori came in, like he came in like all eyes on me. So it's like every little thing's gonna be under a microscope. So when something's not going right, oh, they sabotaging him. They sabotaging him. It ain't like that sometimes. Like sometimes it may be like that. Sometimes it's not like that. You just gotta let when week 8, I'm telling you, week 8, somebody is gonna be a new quarterback. I'm telling you. So once Shador get in and we see how Shador actually hoop in the regular season, then we can start like making analysis like, oh yeah, they sabotaging him and stuff like that. Because he made the 53 regardless.
Mhm. And
So
even with Joe Flacco, Joe Flacco was on the couch. The Browns called him
mhm.
up and he led them to the playoffs, just like
Yeah, I'm
that.
telling you.
So
I'm
I think
telling you.
it makes sense why he's the current starter now, because when they needed
Joe
him,
Flacco is
he came
listen,
through.
you gotta understand. Joe Flacco is the same guy that led the Ravens to the Super Bowl. Like
Joe Flacco
Joe
beat
Flacco
Brady
is
in the
Joe.
playoffs like twice, like 2 or 3 times.
Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco. Like that's he is he a Hall of Famer? Maybe, but Joe Flacco, so Joe Flacco.
When it's time to play, when it's time to be clutch, he's clutch.
Yeah, I won't bet the whole house on him, but I go with Joe Flacco.
Mhm. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how the Browns look this season.
Hmm. Hmm. They're gonna look pretty good though. I
Mhm.
think
They already have a really good defense. They always have a good defense.
they
So,
they it's just more of their offense than their quarterback situation. I feel like they added receivers. They got Jared Judy. Jared Judy is that he a Florida boy, so Jared Judy is one of them guys. Been watching him since high school. Played with him. He one of them guys. Who else they got? That's the thing. Who else they have at receiver? They have Isaiah Bond, but did they sign him to the 53 or
I'm
did
not
they re-sign?
sure. I know they have Judy. I know they have David and Joku.
David Njoku, another Miami boy,
Yeah.
Florida boy.
So, but they'll be fine though. They'll be fine.
David Njoku, like, if you ever see him in person, he looked like an action figure. Like, he don't look like a
Mhm.
real person.
They say it looks like He-Man or something like that.
Man, that man is huge. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a big person, but he is a big person too.
For sure.
He's a big person. Man, I'm trying to think. Who else are your receivers? I don't think Once the season go, we're gonna see how it goes for real.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. In other news in the NFL and just around pop culture in the world in general, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce and pop star Taylor Swift have gotten engaged. Taylor Swift and
American
Travis
couple.
Kelce, they posted a collaboration photo on Instagram, but it was mainly for Taylor's account, and then it just collaborated with Travis's account.
Hmm.
And the caption said, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." So the NFL's favorite couple is is
America's couple. That's
is
America's
engaged
couple right
now.
now.
America's couple.
America's couple. That's how they feel right now.
Yeah, I think the Swifties are happy about it. You know, the Swifties are happy about it, and I think people just around pop culture are happy about it. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have been dating for 2 or 3 years, so I think
I
it's
just
moving kind of
not
fast. But
not even cut you off. I just want to know why did she like turn off her comments? And the thing is like you're happy married and you're happy. Why do you turn your comments? It's just one picture. It's like all her comments is on her other pictures, but it's just that one picture her comments is off. Like
mhm.
if you could explain that to me, I'll understand.
I get that. I get that definitely. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know people around her are happy about it. I think she has a new album coming out.
Hmm.
So, Travis, I think Travis is 35. I think he'll be 36 in a few
Super
months. And
Bowl.
I think Taylor's around the same age. I know she's in her 30s or something like that.
I did not even know how old Taylor Swift was. I'm not gonna lie.
But hey, if they want to get married, then
If
hey,
they
let them
like it,
get
I
married.
love it. If they like it, I love it. Like
Yeah, hey, when you know, you know.
when you know, you know. I like
Do your
yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like personally, like it's gonna be like they integrating the pop culture into like sports and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it gonna be more like ticket sales and stuff like that, especially for the Chiefs. And I'll call it right now. Super Bowl coming. I hear a Super Bowl. They got married. I hear a Super Bowl. Like um what's his name? That quarterback over there. He gonna get his like fourth ring, fifth ring,
Fourth,
fourth
fourth
ring.
Mahomes.
Yeah. You know it's crazy in the NFL, like they don't even like saying his name. Like when I was with the Jags, they ain't even like saying his name. They just say that quarterback over there. Like
That quarterback.
it's like that quarterback over there. Like that's how
Like it's
much. That's how
Voldemort
feared.
on Harry Potter. Like you can't say his name.
Yeah, he's feared. Like he's very feared. So but I feel like on a that level, I'm happy for them though. Like everybody needs love, but I just feel like every time Taylor Swift is like near like anything with sports, I feel like it spikes because her
Hmm.
fan base, like the Swifties, you say,
Hmm.
their fan base is crazy. So like that's a good way of marketing, especially with Travis Kelce going in after his career and stuff like that with football. You see,
Hmm.
like it's a good marketing. I mean, he gonna be in a music video and stuff like
Yeah.
that, more commercials and stuff. So I mean, that's great marketing.
Even when even when like they first started dating and Taylor was coming to the games and everything, it's like the NFL, it just kind of shifted. Like a whole bunch of like more fans was going to the NFL and people were talking about the
Hmm.
Swifties and football and they were showing Taylor a whole lot during the games and everything. And some people didn't like that. People were saying, "Dude, why is the camera panning to Taylor Swift when it was just a 3 yard game?" you know and people were getting mad about that, but it makes sense though why they're panning to her. They want to see that, and they want to see her reaction. And I think even she said, like, I think she said something along the lines of like, and people out there, Swifties, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure, 100% sure, but I think she said something along the lines of like, hey, I'm not telling them to put the camera on me all the game, every game. I'm not telling them to do that. They just put the camera on me. She's like, so like it's not her fault. But people
Yeah.
on social media were like, man, we're tired of seeing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Like, I want to watch the game to see the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Kansas City Swifts.
I mean, it's like it's the
That's
same.
what people were saying.
I'm not giving her like the same like aura as like Michael Jackson, but like Taylor Swift is like one of the biggest. pop stars in the world right now. So it's like, of course, when somebody as big as her comes around, and I understand that. I understand people's like, we want to see football, we ain't come to see that, but like, I mean, they just appreciate somebody there while they there. So like, they just give her Taylor Swift her flowers because it's like it's not
Hmm.
every day you see somebody like Queen Elizabeth come to a football game.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you giving them the flowers, but I'm not gonna lie, they did kind of like throughout the season more. The more she came, the more they put her in the camera. It's like
Hmm.
like okay. At this point, she's a regular. At this point, we understand
Yeah.
they
Hmm.
dating.
Hmm.
Like, but I mean, it's a double edged sword though to me.
Yeah. A lot of attention was coming with it, but I mean, it is
But
what it
why
is. I
not?
think if any team can handle that attention, I think the Chiefs can handle it.
Yeah, why not? Like, it was man. Listen, football is big in the U.S., but football is not as big over
Hmm.
the overseas and stuff like that. And Taylor Swift is probably like she's like big overseas. So like if it can help football reach to those magnitudes, then why not?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, why
Yeah,
not?
that's how it is, you know. And then, when they won the Super Bowl against the 49ers the second time around in
Hmm.
2023 or early 2024, something like that, when they
Hmm.
beat them, they see Travis and Taylor on the field. It's like, oh, and,
America's couple.
people were like, dang, that's cool, Travis and Taylor on the field at the end of the game. It's like, that's crazy, kind of like they say, like Disney movies. And people were talking about that, but then you got other people saying like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to see that," and yada yada yada. And there's people out there that are happy that the Chiefs lost against the Eagles just
Hmm.
because they don't want Taylor Swift to be like, "Oh my gosh, they won," and Travis Kelce and all that, And
Yeah,
obviously, people are just fans of the Eagles and they're happy that the Chiefs lost because the
yeah,
Eagles won. So but some people are just kind of hating on Taylor as far as like, we didn't come to see you. We're not here to see you. We're here to see football. But I mean, it happens. Even when Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson way back when, he was they were showing her on the camera. They were showing
yeah.
her
Like,
at the games too. So it's just
man.
different. But I mean,
People
it
just
is what it is.
people just be mad for no reason. I just feel like people be
Hmm.
mad for no reason. It's like it's no reason. I understand. Like, of course, like again, I'm gonna say Taylor Swift is one of the biggest pop stars in the world right now. So
Hmm.
it's like, of course, she's gonna get so much TV time. Like, that's like if Beyonce was to come out to a game, the camera's gonna be on Beyonce so much. I just feel like they did oversaturate it like a lot. Like they did put it in it, like put it in our face a lot. Like, okay, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. But at the end of the day, it's like if she happy, like let her be happy. If he happy, let him be happy.
Yeah.
But if it brings, like I keep saying, if it brings more sales and more viewers to football, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Grow the game, right?
Because
Gotta
I'm
grow the
pretty
game.
sure. I'm pretty sure if you look at the numbers and you look at the statistics when Taylor Swift started coming to the games, the viewers and I think the female viewers even spiked up a little bit too. So it's like,
Hmm.
why not? Why
Why
not?
not?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. I
But
think it's
let's
cool.
have some fun with it.
I think it's cool, and they're also in like their mid 30s, so it's like
Hmm.
maybe they want to settle down and get married,
Yeah,
and
it's
they
time
want
for
football.
it. It's time for it. Like, I mean, I'm young. I'm young, but like. I mean, when you get to that age, you want to settle down and you want to find your person and stuff like that. So, and
Mhm.
hey, why not? I mean, it's like I said, America's couple.
Yeah, America's couple. So I mean, that'll be exciting to see. I'm not sure when they'll officially be married because you can get engaged and not be married for years.
Oh my god,
So typically, I've seen people when they get engaged, it'll be like a year and a half, 2 years before they get married officially. So I'm not sure how Travis, Kelsey, and Taylor Swift are gonna do it, but it's cool. I
don't
think it's
you know?
definitely a win.
For the longest, I always thought when you put a ring, like you got to get married within like the weeks. I never
Hmm.
knew. Like I learned that when I was probably like 14, 15. Like
Hmm.
that it take years. People take years to get married.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it's a process.
It's a
Because then
process.
once you
Yeah,
get
I didn't
engaged,
know
you
that.
got to figure out like, some
The
people go
plays.
premarital counseling, and it's like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Where are we gonna live? If they don't know already, like, okay, how's the how's the family dynamic gonna be, and or the marriage dynamic, and a lot goes into it. And then with the wedding, you know, weddings are stressful too. You got to pay for a wedding, and then you got to feed a bunch of people and invite everybody, and it's a big deal.
Imagine if she wanted to do a location wedding, like
Mhm. Imagine if she went to like another country to do the wedding and like
man,
invite a whole bunch of people, and then like
a whole bunch
the
of people.
the whole Chiefs team is there and a whole bunch
Yeah,
of people are there. It'd be crazy.
it'd be crazy.
Absolutely. It'll be exciting to see though. The Swifties.
It will be exciting to see. It will be like going forward in the season. I just want to see like his production and stuff like that. Like and how big would the Chiefs be? Like I called though. I'm calling it now. They're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl. And if they win it, I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like they're going to the Super Bowl. He got married to Taylor, like he's getting married to Taylor Swift. So
Mm. Hey, whether they
viewers.
win another Super Bowl or not, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, he gonna win. He won. He
Yeah,
won. At the
he
end of the day, he
won.
won.
He
He
won.
won at the end of the day. He won.
He's fine.
He he won the
He's
deal. He
fine.
won. He won the deal at the end of the day.
Yeah, facts. And then people are, you talk about his production on the field. People would
Hmm.
say like, okay, well, if Taylor Swift is there, hey, be on the lookout for Travis to get,
Him having the best game
more
of his life.
more catches or have a lot of catches. I remember they were joking around about the Super Bowl against. I'm not sure if it was against the Eagles the first time or if it was against the 49ers. I want to say one of those teams. It could have been the Eagles. It could have been the Eagles, but um, people were saying like Travis got mad at Coach Andy Reid on the sideline, and he was saying something to him. I don't know if Travis was basically saying like I want the ball, whatever. And people were like making memes about it and trying to say like Travis was saying like, "Hey man, my girlfriend's here, bro. Give me the ball. Don't embarrass me. You got my
You
girl
know
here,
how
man. You gotta, hey,
you know how
get it
that be.
right."
You know how that be if your girlfriend is in an area and she's watching you ball and stuff like that. You got to put on a show. So
Yeah,
I mean,
trying to show out.
yeah, you got to show out. Like my wife is here. Like I have to show out. Like give me the
Hmm.
ball. And I
Absolutely.
and I respect it. I respect it. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna lie, like he he gonna have a good year because I don't know. He coming in on his back end too of his career. He going. I think he got like 2 more years in here, and him and he be done. What year is this for him? 10.
Whew. I think he's been in the league since 2013,
This
if I'm not
20.
mistaken. So he
This
is
is year 12.
35. So I think he's been in the league since like 2013,
This is year 12.
2013 or 14. So he's been in the league for a while. I mean, he is almost 36.
Mm,
So he was
I
there
didn't
when the
even know
Chiefs
that.
had Alex Smith and everything. So
I didn't even know that.
he's been there for a while. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't even know that. He got 3 rings, 4.
Mm-hmm. Three.
That mean Mahomes got 3 too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, okay.
Sure does.
My two of my old teammates from Georgia, Malik Herring and Nicole, they got 3 rings apiece too.
Mm-hmm.
They was there all 3 years.
Yeah. It's crazy. The Chiefs dynasty. People are saying the dynasty is over though, just because they lost last year, but that doesn't mean it's over.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know, cause I'm being honest. The Raiders, watch out now. Watch out now. Watch out now. I'm just telling you, watch out now. They got Geno. They just signed Amari Cooper. They got Ashton Genty. They got my boys. Those they defense look. They got Jamal Adams. They got Pete Carroll. They're gonna be a team to be reckoned with now.
Mm.
They're
I
gonna
think
be
in their
pretty good.
division, the Chiefs are going to have some competition definitely,
That's what
especially
I'm saying.
with the Chargers. Chargers are going to be good
Yeah,
anyway.
the
You got
Chargers gonna be
Justin
good.
Herbert. They're going to be good. And then you got the Raiders. Raiders are going to be good and give them a run for their money, especially with their defense and Max Crosby. And then the Broncos are
Forgot
good with
about
Bo
it.
Nix. Bo Nix and the Broncos looked pretty
The
good
Bo Nix.
last year.
That was a magic year. That was a magic year. Nobody ain't know about Bo Nix now. I feel like everybody gonna know about Bo Nix now. Like everybody know what Bo Nix got to offer, and I feel like their receivers. Who are their receivers?
They have Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton is their wide receiver one.
Yeah,
I'm not too
that's the only
keen on
person.
their other receivers though, but they do have some weapons though, for sure.
They do have some weapons, but I just want. I'm not gonna discredit Bo Nix' work that he did his rookie year, but I'm gonna just say this: like I want to see it again. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to see it again. For to say Bo Nix is like okay, he like that, he good. To say he's like that, I want to see it again.
Mm,
Yeah. I'm
definitely.
not gonna lie, LJ8. I forgot to say that LJ8
Mm,
Super Bowl this year. We doing it this year, and LJ we trust. That's the
yes,
only
sir.
person I trust.
Trust.
Trust. Big trust. But you
Sir.
say trust,
Yes,
trust. And
sir.
LJ we trust, man. LJ we trust. We only trust LJ. Like he gotta do it for the city. This for Florida. Like when he do it, it's for Florida. He gonna bring the trophy back to Broward. I'm not from Broward, but I'm from Dade. But like it still matters. It still matters.
Some more NFL news came out today with Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice will serve a 6-game suspension to start the 2025 NFL season. That was
Hmm.
reported by different outlets like NFL.com and others. And I'm reading
Hmm.
from an article from NFL.com that was published today, August 27, 2025, by Grant Gordon of NFL, Grant Gordon. And so it's saying that Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is accepting and will serve a 6-game suspension for violating league's personal conduct policy to start the 2025 regular season, which NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reported Wednesday, per sources. And so it says the NFL and the NFL Players Association are working to finalize a settlement, which will end Rice's disciplinary limbo. That's what the article is saying.
Hmm.
And so the article also says that the suspension stems from a conviction. So it says Rice's suspension stems from a 25-year-old's conviction for, along with another driver, causing a multi vehicle chain reaction collision on March 30th in 2024 in Dallas, Texas.
Hmm.
And so recently, Rice was sentenced to 30 days in jail on July 17th, and he pleaded guilty to two third-degree felony charges of collision involving serious bodily injuries and racing on a highway causing bodily injuries. And so it also says the judge will allow Rice, who is paying roughly $115,000 to the victims for medical expenses, to choose the time or times that he serves out his sentence. Um, so basically, it's like, okay, he got sentenced to 30 days in
Hmm.
jail, and it's saying he can
Hmm.
serve that time however he serves it. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe he can do 10 days here, 10 days there, and another 10
Hmm.
days, or go 5 and 5, or however they figure it out. He still has to serve 30 days.
If I
And
was him,
so,
I serve like because he's gonna have to. What if he could do 5 and 5? I'll probably do it on the off season because I'd rather lock into right now. If
mhm,
that's the option, I'd rather do it when I have time or like on the bye week. I just serve those days right there and just like try to
mhm.
knock some off. But the judge, I don't know. Is it something about like these cars and like stuff like that? Like me personally, I don't tend to like playing in cars like especially these fast cars. I don't like playing in them a lot because I know how dangerous it can end up. And I have friends that passed away from like playing in cars and stuff. So it just the common denominator. Like at the end of the day, we have to like as like we got all this money as athletes. We need to just know like what to do and what not to do. I understand you want to play like you want to play in your car, show around, but go to an empty lot and do that. Don't do it on a busy road because it's like you putting other people when you're driving, you're putting other people at danger as soon as yourself. Like you got to drive for yourself and other people. So that's the thing. That's the common denominator in there, and it's just like luckily he did have like I ain't gonna say a pat on the wrist, but like they did give him a okay 6 game suspension because nobody would like passed away during this, but people was injured, but nobody passed away. Like they gave him a 6 game suspension, and he had to pay back all that. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like you don't want that to escalate, and you don't want like it could have been worse for him. If that makes sense, it
Mm-hmm.
could have been worse. So it's just like it's a learning lesson. Like, hey, like this what I should not do, and then going forward, like being the star he trying to be, the star he want to be, and the prime the main person over there, the receiving one over there. You got to know that like certain ways and certain stuff you can't do,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot do because you under a
Yeah.
microscope every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, hopefully after the 6 game suspension and stuff like that, he get his mind right. I mean, of course he's gonna come back a new person, and I'm pretty sure the people that's in his corner, his agent, and everybody that's in his corner, telling him the right stuff and how to move going forward. But I mean, we young at the end of the day. We young and
Mm-hmm.
we some of these guys, like you gotta understand, some of these guys come from nothing. They ain't never had this type of access to this type of money before in their life. So most of these guys, like when they get it, they excited and they just, you feel me? They expressing how they feel. But like again, it was dumb. Not saying it was smart. Next time, just go to an empty lot if you want to do that, or like you
Mm-hmm.
feel me? Just go
You want
to
to drive
go.
fast? Go to a track.
Yeah, go
Rent
to
out
a
a track.
track. Go to a track. Like go to a track and stuff like that, and drag and race and stuff like that. If you want to go do that, but it's just like you got to know not to do it on public. Like you got to do it where it's empty roads, where it's like not you can't put nobody else at danger, but yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so, with the suspension, it's saying, he'll miss weeks 1 through 6. And,
Hmm.
the Chiefs are playing some pretty good teams, throughout that time. They got to play the Chargers in Brazil week 1. Then they got to play the defending Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, in week 2. And then they play the New York Giants week 3, Ravens week 4, Jacksonville week 5, which I think Jacksonville will be pretty good this year. And they got to play week 6 at Detroit. And so Detroit's defense will be a lot better in that game, especially with people being healthy. And so it's saying that he'll be eligible to come back in week 7 versus the Raiders. And this same article is saying that the NFL initially proposed a suspension of double digit games for him,
Hmm.
but which was the basis of the league and NFLPA's initial ability to agree on the length of the penalty, leading to its disciplinary hearing scheduled for September 30th, which was also reported by I think Tom, what's his name? Tom Pelissero. And so, that's going on, and pretty much that's going on. And so, just getting more into the situation has a bit more specifics about the situation. But it says Rice was driving a Lamborghini Urus SUV at 119 miles per hour when he crashed
Wow.
into other vehicles, according to the prosecutors. That's what the article is saying. And it's also saying that prosecutors were saying that after the crash, Rashee did not check on the other people who were involved in the crash and fled the scene on foot. And so,
No.
and Rice put out a statement. And so I think,
What was his
uh,
statement?
so his statement said, and I quote, "Last March, I was involved in a high speed accident in Dallas." Um, his attorney released this statement in July, but it says, but he also said, there have been a lot of sleepless nights thinking about the damages that my action caused, and I'll continue working within my means to make sure that everyone impacted will be made whole. I urge everyone to mind the speed limit, drive safe and drive smart. Last and certainly not least, I am profoundly sorry for the physical damages to person and property. I fully apologize for the harm I caused to innocent drivers and their families. And so, just to take a pause right there. Um, for those of people who don't know who Rashee Rice is, plays receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was drafted in the second round in 2023. And as a rookie, he did really good. He had 79
Hmm.
catches, 938 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Um, it was a very intricate piece to the team season. And
Hmm.
then, um, and then he got hurt in 2024. He got a knee injury, and he was out in the entire 2024. And then he's back 2025, and he's played a few preseason games. Says he's played in 2 preseason games, just something light. And the thing is, with people with the suspension, people were trying to figure out, like, okay, well, why wasn't he suspended in 2024 if this happened during that offseason? How was he allowed to play? And it was basically, because of the
There we
whole
go.
process,
Hmm.
through the courts and
They got to
the
build the case.
NFL and all that type of stuff. And
They
so,
got to build the case.
And then the NFL's commissioner exempt list. I don't think he was on that list at the time. I could be wrong, or I don't think he was on the list at all. But I could be wrong. But just the whole process. And so my thing is this: it's good that no one was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad no one was hurt. He wasn't injured. I mean, like people were hurt, but not seriously hurt. Right. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad no one was seriously hurt and seriously injured. So from what I've read and what I've seen, they're all right for the most part. And then Rashee's paying medical expenses and whatnot. But it could have been worse than it was,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, especially driving fast on the highway and you know the possibility of swerving in and out of lanes, and somebody might be going fast and then somebody's trying to get in the lane and then they get hit, and then all this stuff is just going on. And so luckily nobody's seriously injured. And so, but just got to do better and just got to be smarter. And then
You be
if
careful in these cars.
yeah, if one is to get into an accident, stay there and help.
Yeah.
If anything, stay there and help. Don't leave, because then it makes it worse. And then just especially with them saying he left on foot,
Yeah, I
it's
want,
not
and
good.
I'm not gonna sit here and say like he supposed to stay regardless, but as a young man, like he just probably thought in his head, and me thinking in that situation, he thought in his head like, okay, it was more serious than what it was. Like he probably thought that he killed somebody, and his first reaction, your adrenaline just rushing, so he
Hmm.
just probably think, okay, I'm gonna leave, not knowing that you're a famous athlete, and regardless of anything, this car gonna come back in your name. So it's just like that's the biggest thing, just making sure like if you do, and just be like my mom and dad always told me, like just be cautious of what you do, because 30 seconds of your life can ruin your life forever. Like just be more mindful of what you do, because it's like that 30 seconds change, because I'm pretty sure they suspend him without pay. So that 30 seconds, 45 seconds of your life change like something going forward. So it's like be more conscious, more cognitive with what you do.
Yeah, yeah, just a crazy situation all around. But again, like I was saying before, I'm glad no one was seriously injured and everybody's all right for the most part. I understand, the whole NFL process and going through the whole process, and I understand that, they gave him a 6-game suspension. I think that's fair. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
fair given the given the situation at hand,
Magnitude.
given the
Mm-hmm.
whole yeah, given the magnitude of the whole thing. But just got to be careful. If you get in an accident or if somebody else gets in an accident, regardless of whose fault it is, if you
They
can help, stay there and help if possible. Stay there and help if possible, or
and
you know,
you said they was racing.
I think it was saying I'm not sure if he was racing, but it does say that he was just driving a Lamborghini Urus in that NFL.com article. It's just
Mm-hmm.
saying that he was driving at 119 miles per hour. I'm not sure if he was racing.
And sometimes you
Yeah,
gotta understand. Like I don't know. Like we get fast cars as an athlete just because we want to drive them fast. Like just to, you feel me? But sometimes you gotta question like, why was he going 119 miles per hour? Like, are you okay? Like, but hey, we just make sure you just mindful of everything you do, and like I
hmm
pray for the families that was impacted in the situation, and I pray for him too. I pray that he just like going forward, and I know like like I said again, he got great people in his corner, and they're gonna make sure that he don't get into any legal trouble again. So going forward, hey, bigs up to Rashee Rice, and I'm not gonna lie, the Chiefs are gonna actually miss him production wise, because I mean they had to replace what he did last year. I think he got hurt last year, but the year before that. But I feel like they're gonna pretty much handle out through all this, the first 6 weeks. Certain guys gonna have to step up. Like what's the guy from Texas, the fast
Xavier
guy.
Worthy.
Zay Worthy gonna have to step up more. He gonna have to carry the load more. And like I said, they signed Taquan Thornton. He a Miami guy. he gonna have to. He was a second round pick. He gonna have to come in and produce. Like guys like that gonna have to step up more. And Travis Kelce, you gonna see more Travis Kelce than more than
Hmm.
like it's like in the beginning of the year you see the little bit of Travis Kelce. At the back end, you see more of him. But I feel
Yeah.
like going forward now, like now that Rashee Rice out, you're gonna see a lot of more Travis Kelce until
Hmm.
Rashee Rice come back in to fill that void. But
Hmm.
hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. Look, if it's a will, it's a way. So I'm
Yeah.
just happy that he just got a 6 game suspension and that he's gonna be back. Like he's like a blink of an eye. Like I was just telling my one of my old teammates, my best friend, um, you blink your eye, you're gonna be week 8. So literally no, just make sure that he stay in shape and stay in tune. That's all it is.
Hmm. And then, we've seen other stories with athletes like Henry Ruggs and others to where it was as bad as it possibly could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was an event that Henry Ruggs was speaking at and just talking about, like, hey, don't drive fast or don't speed and don't do this and that, don't drink and drive and everything. And so, it rings true, especially, and then I've heard people say, athletes feel like, we're, we're, we're pro athletes. It's all right. We can do whatever, but that's not the case. It's not
Nah,
the
well, you
case.
gotta understand as a pro athlete, and that's the thing. Sometimes they do be like that. Like some athletes do tend to like feel like they above, but
Hmm.
you gotta sometimes be understanding. Like as an athlete, you're gonna just be put under this microscope, so everything you do is gonna be times two. So if I was me and you, I'm a first round pick. I signed for $100 million like deal, and you're just a regular person. If I was to if I was to speed and like run a red light, and you was to run a red light, and the police stop both of us, I would get like it's gonna be on everywhere that Latavius Brini ran a red light because of who I am, and that's what everybody need to understand. Like you're not just you're not just Rashee Rice no more. You're the athlete. You're the role model now. Like it's not you're not just you no more. Like as an athlete and as a professional athlete, you're not just you no more. You got to make sure you protect your last name, your name. So anything that you do going forward will be follow you. Like okay, like with Henry Ruggs, I hate that he going through that situation, but the situation will always follow Henry Ruggs wherever he go because that's what tied to his name. He gonna and like Henry Ruggs is watching. Like I'm making sure. Like I'm gonna make this clear. Henry Ruggs is like making sure his face is like he cleaned up his face, making sure he's like not the guy that people imagine him to be. You feel me? But as an
Being an
athlete,
advocate and being like, hey, don't do
yeah.
that. Don't do
But
that.
at the end of the day, it's like a lot of people gonna judge you on first impression they make of you. So that's the first impression that they made of Henry Ruggs, and this the first impression that a lot of people don't know Rasheed Rice. This is gonna be the first impression that they know of him. So I mean, going forward, he just got to make sure that he just doing the right things and making sure he is that role model to kids that's looking up to him and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just a crazy situation all around, and just got to be careful.
Yeah, he
Got to
just
be
got
careful
got
and
to be safe.
just be smart and be mindful, like you were saying. And then I've even read some things and seen things online where people will say, like, sometimes when you're in those fast cars, sometimes people don't realize how fast they're actually going.
That's what I'm
Some people,
saying.
it could feel like you're going, somebody could be going 100 miles per hour on the highway, but it could feel like they're going 60, because it's
Yes,
different when you're inside of the car versus just looking
man.
at it on the outside. So,
When I tell you, Terry, when that car, like one of my friends got a track hawk. When that car, when he hit the gas and that car grabs you, like it literally like hugs you. Yeah. It's going too fast. Me, I'm the type of person. Soon as the car get it going too fast, I like, hold on, slow it down. Like I gotta be the one that's driving fast. I can't let nobody. I'd rather control my own destiny.
mm,
But
yeah.
these cars, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like it's a famous quote that this rapper, I know you know him, Chief Keef said, They was like, "Why you got this? Why you bought this car?" He said, "I bought this car because it's fast. That's why half of the time we do it. We buy the car because it's fast." And we just gotta make sure that going forward that we just be mindful.
Hmm. Yeah,
We driving
absolutely.
when you drive in a car, you're not only driving for yourself, you're driving for
Hmm.
the persons in the two next lanes. Like
Hmm.
you gotta make
You're not
sure
just
that
trying to protect yourself; you're protecting everybody on the road.
everybody, yeah, you gotta be protecting everybody on the road.
Hmm.
So
So yeah, I mean,
it's a lesson learned.
yeah, it's definitely a lesson learned, especially not just for athletes everywhere, but people everywhere.
People, yes.
Be smart. Don't go out there racing and doing all this crazy stuff on the road. Because again, it's not just about you; it's about other people
That
also.
ain't about other people that's on the road too.
So, but yeah, it's from a football standpoint, offensively. For the Chiefs with Rashee Rice, not being there because of the suspension. Like you were saying, Xavier Worthy and other players are going to have to step up. Travis is going to have to do a bit more earlier in the season.
Hmm.
But they have Patrick Mahomes. So from an offensive standpoint, they'll figure it out.
They
They'll
will
figure
for
it out.
sure. They'll figure it out for sure.
Mhm.
They'll figure it out.